Thanks for coming in. Hey, we should get Scott Herman in here.
I don't see him in, but once he's in, I'll definitely add him. But while we're waiting, if everybody can hit that little blue circle with the plus button while we're waiting, and then send out a tweet to let everybody know that we are live. That way we can get some more people in here. That would be really helpful, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, man. Thank you. We'll give it a few minutes here, try to let people kind of trickle in. Thanks everybody for joining so fast. It's super cool.
Also, guys, if you haven't done a Twitter Space before, next to that blue circle, there's going to be a heart with a plus button. You can hit that to raise your hand, or you could react to different things, just so you guys know. But let's make sure we share the space so we can get more and more people in here.
Okay, I think I did it. I tweeted it out.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh man, it's tough. It's tough. I still haven't figured out how to navigate Twitter. It's pretty overwhelming, the amount of things that come in. So we'll give it another few minutes, but just to kind of recap the action that we've all been seeing. We've had some pretty amazing people, KKON and friends, that have taken an interest in the project, which is super cool. I haven't seen anything like talk about like a powerful person. Like, my goodness, like single-handedly seem to have created new life into this project. We've been working away on the utility over the last gosh, it hasn't even been that long, guys. This thing's like 2-3 weeks old, so I mean, it's really early. It had a really, really high, I mean, originally we, the Inuyasha DAO, we went on and announced that we were going to help a friend stealth launch their project. And kind of what happened was we just announced that, and 3,000 people had entered the Telegram. And so it wasn't really a stealth launch. It was goodness. And people were like staying up all night just to try to get in on the launch. It was pretty outrageous. We felt really bad, so we would tell people like, look, we're not going to launch today. It'll be the next day, or whatever it was. And people still, I mean, it was incredible. I've never seen anything like it, where you tell a community of people, that you're gonna stealth launch, and 3,000 people take interest in it. It was pretty incredible. Yeah, the launch went really well. I think it went about 200x, just about. And then it's been selling off little by little. People losing faith in the project over time. However, we decided within the Inuyasha community to just fully adopt the project and help the project build out its utility. We see a clear path forward to capturing a market share in the cold storage wallet sector, or in crypto gadgets as a whole. So we've been very bullish on the project this entire time. When you really look at, if you're behind the scenes, or if you're in some of the VCs and you already know the people working on this project, it's pretty incredible. The people that have come together. We have head of internet security at Google that gives some advice here and there. We have former C-level executives and industry leaders and internet security and phone security, from Microsoft and various other companies, as well as our friends over at a leading blockchain security company that are involved in the process. When you look behind the scenes and you see the people involved, what they've done, what they're capable of, it's a very bullish venture. Some of the people involved, helped create the internet, right? Had very high exits, in excess of 200 and 400 million dollars, back in the .com era and before, when the internet did not have any standardized, did not have a standard. There was AOL internet, there was other internets, and eventually they created a consortium, and it became, the internet, through the efforts of ICANN, became the internet that you guys know today, where no matter where in the world we can go and see the same web page. It wasn't always like that. And taking on some of the advice from some of these people, we see a similar thing with these metaverse projects, right? We were speaking on it the other day. Just in order to truly be meta, it should be all encompassing, and the graphic assets should be able to swap. You should be able to enter into whichever metaverse project you so feel with all of your NFTs. And what is the standard, right? Like the Unreal Engine seems to be the standard right now, but the other 3D companies, the other 3D environment companies could all create a consortium and eventually become the standard instead of Unreal. And so it draws a parallel to blockchain itself with all these different chains. And what is the standard, right? Like, how do we get on a standard so we can kind of move forward and improve the space overall? And all the NFTs, all the super blue chip seem to be on ETH, right? So that might be the bullish case for ETH in general, is that eventually, with Pulse Chain, with ETH, with these layer 2 solutions, we can all just kind of consolidate on ETH, and maybe it could become the standard. So I think that's why a lot of people, especially people within our own community, are so bullish on ETH in general. So this problem, right, of not having any specific standard, right? This is a problem, right? And so this is the problem that the Maneki-Neko project was going to try to tackle, providing a secure cold storage or just wallet in general, where you'd be able to see all of your NFTs in one place, right? Right now, if you have Solana NFTs, you need to use that wallet. And those NFT marketplaces, or if you have an EVM, you need to use OpenSea and an EVM wallet. And so you have to swap, from place to place just to see all of your NFTs. And so the real goal that we would be trying to tackle is making an NFT marketplace where you'd be able to see in your portfolio all of your NFTs from all the different chains, whether it's just a JPEG representation of that NFT and not the actual on-chain item, but also inside of your wallet, just having one wallet where you could see all of your NFTs and all of your tokens just all in one place. So this is the issue, this is the problem that we'd be trying to tackle. Fortunately, we have some pretty amazing people involved in the Inuyasha ecosystem. We have consultants for major blockchain security companies that, we have Ethereum Foundation people, award-winning cryptographers and Solidity developers, in the background. And so the first project or utility that we'll be coming out with, and I've received the build files for it so far, is a fork of MetaMask with added security measures in place. And what we've done is basically given an open budget to some of the most talented developers in the entire world to just make the DeFi wallet that they would want. Right? There's there's some issues with MetaMask. There's issues with some of the other wallets. If we could consider a developer like a sponsored athlete, right? What would we provide them as a company with utility, as a project with a product? How can we sponsor these athletes, so to speak, right? Except give them the best solution where, when you have to go to edit settings, you have to click through and mix a bunch of stuff, or you can go into expert mode and change your settings so that things are faster. Like, what if we could make the whole user experience more streamlined, so that like you don't have to press high priority every single time when you're interacting with the contract. Like, of course, when you interact with the contract, if you're a developer and you're working on ETH, which sometimes is slower than other networks, right? Every single time you click high priority, like, why do we have to click high priority every time? Or why do we have to go to edit instead of just clicking the little checkbox, right? Like, shouldn't it just be priority 5 every single time and plus 50 GUI over the current market? Like, it should just be that every single time, right? Like, instead of having to click, that way we don't have to wait, 30 extra seconds, an extra minute for contract interaction to take place. And so these are some of the things that we would be trying to solve and make a little bit more streamlined. Just in general, making, giving some of the most talented developers in the space, period. Ethereum Foundation people, consultants for some leading blockchain security companies, just giving them an open budget to make the best wallet, right? Like, what is the best wallet? And so the path forward, guys, at least for marketing or bringing this to market, just in general, is we've created an affiliate program. And so we'd be focusing on creating these affiliate type partnerships with fringe projects on the fringes of DeFi. And so when these developers are building their communities, and there's somebody new to crypto, and they're asking like, hey, which wallet should I use? Or my trust wallet is not working. What should I do? We'd be able to give them a product, like a hard wallet product, but also a software wallet product, where they would have already used that, right, to deploy their contract and interact with the blockchain. And so they could advise their communities, like, hey, I use this wallet. This is the wallet that I use to interact with DeFi. This is where I can see all my NFTs. Why can't you see your NFTs all in one wallet, right? Like, I can, right? So just giving them some more tools, just in general, to improve the space overall. One thing that you guys see at our Inuyasha community, in our DAO, is all of the projects that we incubate. We're an incubator fund. We take new protocols, new projects, new ideas, we incubate them and bring them to market, or attempt to, and with our best effort. And you'll see that everything that we do, guys, is meant to improve the space, just in general. It is not, I don't think you'll ever see us release a shitcoin. I don't think you'll ever see us release like a cookie cutter type project, where it's like this NFT and this, we have this in the future, and whatever it might be. You hear the same things, from each of these projects, and from us, like, we just really want to improve the space, right? So you see with the Clifford contract, it's been forked so many different times. A lot of people don't know how to operate it. For those that don't truly understand it, I'll just speak on it a little bit and go off topic a tiny bit. Like, for the Clifford contract, if you imagine the liquidity pool, Imagine you have 10 Cliff tokens and 10 ETH inside of the liquidity pool. What the Clifford contract was able to do, what Udosh was able to do, who's the dev for Clifford, by the way, Udosh, is he's able to detach, let's say he detaches 5 Cliff from that LP. And so what you're left with is 5 Cliff tokens and 10 ETH. So prior, you had 10 Cliff and 10 ETH. So like therefore 1 Cliff would equal 1 ETH, right? That would be the value of 1 Cliff. If you detach the 5 and destroy them, you're left with 5 Cliff and 10 ETH. So now 5 Cliff equals 10 ETH. So you've had a 100% price increase, right? Based on what the contract was able to do. So let's say you go in and you detach another 4 Cliff from the LP. Now in the LP, you're left with 1 Cliff and 10 ETH. So now 1 Cliff token equals 10 ETH, right? Whereas you started with 10. You could go further. You could detach another 0.9 Cliff and destroy it. So now you're left with 0.1 Cliff equals 10 ETH. So the types of price increases that you can have just based on the contract for Cliff, it should almost be illegal. Like it's that bullish, right? So that's one project. The Guzzler project, right, is sort of a revolutionary minting engine where you're able to modify your NFTs, create new NFTs, and then you're actually able to race them. And although we did it a little bit backwards than most of the projects in the space, we've been able to provide, a playable, multiple playable beta versions of the game so that you guys can interact with the game during its development process. For the Neko project, the same sort of revolutionary idea where we can create, have the best people in the space create the best wallet possible, without any issues that you guys see from, other projects, without any issues that you might see from MetaMask. Just to give you guys an idea on some background or of some of the people that are involved or advising on the project. Like I said at the start of the call, some of these guys helped create the internet, right? They're the original crypto people before blockchain and tokens became popular. And some of the market caps and sales of some of these projects early on in the 90s, eclipses a lot of the blockchain token projects that you see now. When you see a project with $1 billion market cap, $400 million sale on some of these crypto projects back then, in today's money, would have been several billion. So these people really know what they're doing. So I guess the path forward. Sorry guys, I kind of talk in circles sometimes, but the path forward. When we were talking about those fringe communities, or just creating affiliate programs with other tokens, with the hardware wallet itself, part of what we're trying to do.
Oh, sorry, man. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Joey. But we got YourPop and Scott in the house. I just wanted to make sure you knew.
Oh, cool. Hey guys, thanks for coming in.
And Pop and Scott, I sent you guys invites to speakers. Are you getting those?
What? I see Yon World. I see MCO.
What's up, Yon? What's up, Chad?
I see Oren. Who else? I haven't even looked.
Pop invites. I'm trying to see if they got them. Oh, they're all right. Pop is in as a speaker now.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Hey. Hold on. How do I open Scott up here?
Scott, the king of Neko.
Sorry, guys. I had the phone to my ear. I didn't see the request pop in because I was listening with the phone to my head.
Oh, you're good. So where was I? Well, I guess from there, does anybody have any questions? You guys can go ahead and raise your hands. Other than that, we're just working on strategies for the for potential bearish trends in the market. I think that this project overall is fairly bear market resistant, just in its business model, just as a company itself, not necessarily as a token project. There's some really good people involved, you know, and we're pumping that the KCON. I don't know if he's in here, but like goodness, like I've never talk about like a powerful person. I think he must have spent, you know, like 200 ETH, like over the course of a couple of days. I was trying to keep up with some buybacks and whatnot, but I was like, holy crap, like I'm gonna go broke trying to keep up with KCON here, you know, on this project. And yeah, it's been pretty incredible. But if anybody has any questions, go ahead, and then I can ramble on some more. And Scott, if you have any input or anything you want to say, I super enjoy when you start rambling too.
Well, you guys know me. When Joey first told me that he was gonna, you know, want to adopt Neko into the Yasha ecosystem, because as you guys know, it wasn't incubated from the Yasha incubator. And I told him, I said, you know, what these guys are building here, as Joey said earlier, they're not just bringing in shit coins and trying to launch as many coins as they can. They're trying to build a well-rounded ecosystem and something where each token helps each other out. And so Neko was a missing piece to the equation in order for us to have a successful Yashaverse. And so I told him, I was like, listen, what this wallet is going to do and what it can do is just the beginning, because it's going to start with the NFT integration and it's going to grow from there. And as the Yashaverse grows, I mean, we're at a point right now with the whole metaverse where we might not know exactly what the future looks like, but if we keep our heads down and we keep working and trying to build on it, it'll pretty much start to create itself, right? It's such a new thing. Like it reminds me when I started YouTube back in 2009. I had no idea what social media would grow into. Like Twitter had just come out at that point. Who knew what social media would turn into? Who could even imagine what it's turned into now? And that's the same thing with crypto, and with crypto gaming, and with metaverses, and ecosystems like this one. I don't exactly know what the future of the Yasha ecosystem is going to look like, because I can't, you know, it's hard for me to imagine something that hasn't been created yet, but I know that if any team is gonna get there, get it done, and be at the forefront of what's coming, it's gonna be these guys.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks. You know what makes this, I think, a little bit unique, you know, is that we all had some semblance of success, you know, with exactly what we're doing in blockchain, outside of blockchain, right? Prior. You know, we've worked, you know, many of us have worked with startups throughout our professional career. And so what better way to work with blockchain than to have an incubator fund, right? Which is exactly that, startups in blockchain. Some of the people involved in our DAO have a ton of experience in exactly this, and are able to advise, you know, give input, even help in various ways with their skill sets. And so we're able to stay pretty nimble. We're able to pivot quickly. It doesn't take us a long time to do things because the people involved are highly skilled, you know, like truly just highly skilled people. Yeah, it's an honor, you know, to be able to work with some of these people, and we're just blown away that this sort of thing can happen. But yeah, anyway, I see some requests. I'm going to go ahead.
Well, before we go to the request, I wanted to give YourPop an option, or you know, see if YourPop wanted to speak on it.
Come on, Joey.
I get in the zone, dude. I just keep going.
No, I have had it, man. No, honestly, I just wanted to say hello. Honestly, I'm still salty. I'm kind of sad because Neko is literally the only token that I missed out on through anything in Yasha related since I joined pretty much the Yasha team back in October. So still kind of hurt. I should have bought the dip. I didn't. Now I'm tempted to buy the peak.
No.
But I don't know. It's crazy to me the opportunities that have presented themselves with with the Inuyasha Launchpad. Like, you know, I tell always when I talk to my Discord members, things like that, we discuss it all the time. And it's like, wow, we really found a true gem. Like what Scott said, all the positivity that he mentioned, it's been, you know, it's almost like it's guaranteed money, which is kind of, it's unheard of in the space, you know? So I don't know, kudos to all of you guys, especially Joey. Like, I know you and I talk a lot, and I know D and everybody else works so hard, and Budash and your whole team, but honestly, it's really a pleasure that I get to work alongside of you guys, and thank you for helping me make a lot of money. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody else does as well. So I'm excited. Congrats to all the Neko holders. It's funny, I woke up, I'm just gonna say this, right? I don't even take too much time, but I remember waking up 7 a.m. my time, which is central, and then two of my Discord members pinged me at like 5:45 in the morning. They're like, "Yo, new token, Yasha launched." I was like, "Wait, what happened?" And then they were like, "Oh, we're up 20x." I'm like, "Wait, what happened?" So it's just hilarious to me. And then, you know, from there we see the sell off like any other token, and now look what's happening. So big congrats. I'm not mad. I'm really happy for everyone.
That was tough. Look, man, when we said stealth launch, we did not like, we thought, okay, we just go ahead and just drop contract, but it went crazy. Like the 3,000 people joined that Telegram, you know, in anticipation of the contract drop, and so I don't know. It was a learning experience. I'm sorry, guys. Like, just to be fair, like we tried to be really fair. There was nobody, not even Gooby himself, knew when anything was happening. D, who's the chief operating, he's the COO of the entire ecosystem. We didn't even tell him when the contract was dropping, so he was fast asleep. So we tried it. Although there were some people in some groups that were, you know, angry, so to speak, you know, that we didn't tell them. We didn't even tell our own people, especially all the people that have helped us along the way. So just to keep it super fair, and you know what happened. I'm going to go ahead and unmute some of these guys. This is so cool that I see. Hey Grant, I see all these board cliffs in the audience. I think we have a pretty high floor price right now, which is badass. Guys, no porn, no craziness. Okay, please. There's one guy that follows us around to get into our VCs just to share his porn. It's weird, so just don't do anything weird. Okay.
Whoa there.
I know, it's crazy. Okay, Grant, Alejandro, Ed, you guys are all unmuted. Anybody else raise your hands?
Hey, Viodi. Hey, just had a quick question, really. I was just in regards to the hardware wallet aspect of it, and kind of comparing it to Ledger, really. What's your vision with the hardware portion of it? Because I know, like MetaMask, for example, doesn't work on a hardware level, but you know, with the Ledger, you have the hardware component attached to it. So is the idea, for example, if you want to get into Guzzler space, you just plug in your USB and that acts like a key to unlock your NFT? And is that the process, or do you have like some much more complex vision that you wanna do with the hardware portion of it? That's what I'm kind of interested in.
Well, so the hardware portion would be to disconnect, right, from everything. And we were almost, you know, as we started to move in and kind of discuss this, I had some sort of strange epiphany. You know, one of our advisors was CEO and COO of a company called Intertrust that they sold. They exited for like $450 million, you know, back in the 90s. And, you know, they sold to Passage, which then it was acquired by Intel, and, you know, all this stuff. And, you know, one of his old employees went on to found Bullpen Capital, you know, which is a pretty well-known VC fund in multiple industries. You know, they make investments across multiple industries. Anyway, the people involved here, what we had started to discuss was whether we could make the cloud computing solution that Intertrust created, if we could turn that into the cold storage, right? Can we actually just put it all in the cloud? One of their companies was called SimForm. And what it was able to do was take local storage on all the subscribers' computers and create the largest cloud data storage company without actually having a data center. And their centralized brain, it was able to encrypt data, send it to thousands of different local storage, spaces on computers across hundreds of countries. And then when you needed the information back, it would be able to compile all the information back into a whole piece of data. And we're thinking, well, tokens are, can be fractionalized, right? Because they have decimal points. Can we do this and actually use the cloud, right? And so that's an option. This is in regard to your point of the question, your part of the question that was asking about hardware specifically. With integration, no, you don't necessarily have to use a hardware wallet to interact with DeFi or games such as Gessler. However, I think a lot of people like the added security of being able to truly disconnect. But we're thinking like, well, what if we just spread it out on the cloud and it's fully encrypted there, right? Like, can we do the same? Can we achieve the same thing, send it to the cloud as opposed to disconnecting from the, entirely? So there's a few different options that are still on the table so far.
I'm 100% digging the hardware option of it, and I think that's very attractive. And you kind of build we have Ledger Nano out there in the space, and it's kind of like, look at what they have done with their, and then we have, the Neko wallet that could actually, there's a competition in this space. So actually, whatever you guys are building with Neko can be valued. You know what I mean? There is a starting point. It's not like you're not building anything out of the thin air in the random space where you cannot put a price on it, essentially.
Yeah,
so I'm totally digging the hardware wallet and loving the hardware wallet aspect of it. It's just, I've been part of startups, and I'm just wondering if that's gonna how long that process is gonna be to actually manufacture those things. And I've been part of a lot of manufacturing processes from A to Z. So I was just wondering what your plans are to that regard, essentially, just the manufacturing aspect of things.
Yeah, so if you guys have been in our Telegram, Larry is in China, boots on the ground.
Okay.
So and he works with a leading blockchain security company. Obviously, one of our developers is a consultant for a leading blockchain security company, and they live in the city where all the graphics cards and microchips are made. So they are in the epicenter of where a potential perfect place to manufacture a hardware wallet would be. And just speaking on your point about competition, Scott tells me this all the time. I think he says the demographics are like 4% of people that invest in things, right? Pretty broad, but he says 4% of those people are in crypto. Okay, and so when you look at the fact that Ledger just raised, $380 million, right, at a valuation of $1 billion, there's plenty of room. If you think about their market share of people that invest in crypto, or their market share of future crypto investors, right? I think that there's room. I think like we truly see a path, and we feel confident that we'd be able to grab some of that market share, right? So
100%, I agree with you. I was just pointing out the fact that Ledger's out there, and there's a price on the product that's out in the market. So when you come out with the Neko wallet that actually does a lot better, has a lot more offerings than Ledger, then you have something to compare to, and show it to people. Hey, look, there's like this wallet here in Ledger at 1 billion. We can do way better than Ledger. So we should be valued a lot better. You know what I mean? Like there's a benchmark is set at one point. So I love the fact that there's a hardware aspect of it. I just wanted to know what the goals, what the roadmap was for that development.
Yeah. Right now, roadmap wise, guys, where we are on the roadmap, we have a couple developers working together to fork MetaMask into the Neko mask, and they possess a level of extreme talent. You know, I mean, they're very good, and so they've just been given an open budget to develop the DeFi wallet that they would want to use as professional developers, right? That regards to the NFT marketplace, where the token actually has utility, they've been instructed. I think we're gonna use Treasureland, which is like a multi-chain NFT marketplace. Kind of go by Treasureland. Fork some aspects of it, and then create entirely new processes and user experience interface, and go from there. Hardware wallet, Larry is actually handling. So I think he has reached out. He's provided our initial renderings, and so far it's been we've been in the middle of the Chinese Lunar New Year, so we're letting everybody get back from their holiday, and then we'll keep going.
It's awesome, bro. Thank you so much. I love what you guys are doing, and shout out to YourPop, and he's the reason I got into your whole ecosystem. So I want to thank you guys, and
Cool.
I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna mute myself.
Right.
Other people take a chance. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Awesome.
Real quick, Joe, just to let you know, we just confirmed Bitmark for Neko as well.
Oh, bullish.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
You okay?
Are you okay? Oh man. For those that don't know, guys, you're okay. Are you okay means hello in Welsh or something. And so Grant's always asking me, he's like, "Are you okay, Joe? Are you okay?" And I'm always like, "Yeah, I think so, dude. Like, I'm good, And come to find out, he wasn't actually concerned about my well-being. He was just saying hello. So thanks, Grant.
This was asking. I know I've heard a little bit about it, but I just wondered on the time frame for the software and the hardware.
Yeah, software. I actually just received the initial build files back last night. So I forwarded those over to Z and his team. And so we should be able to put together an initial build. And then, another week is coming. And I'm sure, that took about a week of work, maybe 70 to 80 man hours for that. And then we have another week coming up, which will probably, have a similar or more man hours. Because one of the developers is Chinese, so he'll be back in the swing of things. And then hardware wallet, once everybody, it was Larry's birthday the other day, guys. It's Chinese New Year. And so I think once everybody's back in the swing of things, we'll be able to get some concrete timelines or potential concrete timelines. So I just want everybody to know, if we shift our mindset a little bit, okay, and look at this as a startup, we have cash on hand, right? And everything is essentially paid in full. So when you're looking, when you guys invest in, different biotech stocks, right? And they have like 12 months of operating expenses, essentially paid for. Like they have enough cash to operate for 12 months. And that's a bullish sign. Or they raise another round of funds, and then they have like an additional 20 months of operating expense paid for and accounted for. When you're looking at us as a startup, like our seed round went through just fine, and then from here, you're basically, getting involved with a startup at the ground level that has a very unique and experienced team behind it. If you see everybody involved, you'd be even more bullish. I'll ask them if they want to come out. Everything is paid. Like we see a path forward we have cash on hand. We're going to move forward with the plan. At no point are you like, should you ever feel like, this should happen sooner? How much time is this going to, is this even happening? Is this even going to work? Like, just in regards to the functionality of Wallet and Marketplace, you have some of the best people in the world working on this. So it's very cool to be a part of. So. That's a cool board clip, Grant. It's a cool board clip. Zamundo, Alejandro.
Yeah.
Hey, bud.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Good work. Good work. Thanks to everybody involved in this project. This is very bullish. What I want to ask is, I know you talk about the software aspect of it, and I want to know some of the things that we don't have on other wallet right now that are frustrating to users. If we have any idea on those, what would be the process to go through? For example, I have some ideas on dollar cost averaging. That's some functionality that we all use on a daily basis, but it's frustrating sometimes. You're trying to remember which market cap I got in, how is my average going to be if I ape in here and there. Those are things I don't see on any wallet right now that I think some of the functionality that we can possibly dig in with a new wallet. So what would be the process to at least make suggestions?
Oh, very cool. Yeah, you can go ahead and suggest things out, anytime, and we can pass them forward. For now, I think maybe the first iteration, just so that we have 100% working, easy to use, wallet. It's a DeFi wallet, right? That at its core, it's something that a developer or somebody would be able to interact, with blockchain, not have any like real lag time, right? Like there's some people that they're trying to mint an NFT and they're using some specific wallet with an iPhone and it's not really working. That's an issue, right? Or they're using Trust Wallet and it's not connecting to DXSale, or they're not getting their airdrops. Like that's another issue, right? People who give out their private key to a wallet or whatever it might be, that's another issue, right? Like if a transaction goes out and they have like a 2FA on that private key, so like a hacker can't just drain all their funds, right? Something super simple, but hasn't really been done yet, And so yeah, just and then just making the options to select, to select what kind of priorities and gas, make that very easy so that the developers don't, every time they want to make a contract interaction, they don't have to make multiple selections inside of their MetaMask. They just already set up and ready to go. Like if you can have a launch mode, right, on your wallet, on your DeFi wallet. So setting 49% slippage and whatever on it, right? You could have like an NFT mint mode, right, where you're trying to outgas somebody, outperform somebody, but you have to go in and manually set everything, right? And so you lose time. People lose a lot of money, but they miss out on money because some of these things aren't optimized, right? Like if you had a launch mode, right? Your wallet would already be set up to be optimized for like a high volatility launch, right? So just things like that, like little things like that. And then maybe in the future, let's let them build, because the more ideas and more suggestions that we have right off the bat, the longer it'll take, right? Whereas some of these things are very easy to implement and create like a nice user experience. And have the wallet be something that you guys are all very familiar with. This is a DeFi wallet, and then we can build on top of it.
That's good. I agree.
So, but thanks, dude. I love when you speak up, man. I'm always, I know, really, like I'm always doing this here. Like, he's always bullish and has.
I'm a software engineer, so like I always look at things from two aspects and always see what is the if this, if that, and what else can be added to it. That's pretty much I always think about something.
No, very cool. Yeah, I always appreciate when you're here with us, dude.
Thanks.
Okay, guys. Anybody else? I saw Alejandro was unmuted. If you have any questions or anything, you guys can go ahead and just raise your hands. We're at like 45 minutes in now.
I was just gonna say how excited I'm for the project, and I was gonna let everybody know that if anyone wants to buy, you should buy right now. A very big buy is coming, very shortly.
Yeah, guys. There's like can I say Shinjo whales? Is it Shinjo whales? There's a bunch of
Yeah, I mean, kind of we are.
there's a bunch of Shinjo whales guys that have like taken a serious interest in this project, and they're just going like wild. Like I'm like just I don't know what you guys are doing, man, but it's
I mean, it's kind of fun. You know, it's just with my boys and KKON, he's awesome. He was able to bring the project to my attention. I was like, oh, that's fun. And I really like what you guys are doing. I think it's pretty cool.
right.
And it's fun seeing how a lot of people is being dumb and selling, and then when they sell, like make a big buy, and they lost a lot of money because of it. You know, it's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, that is fun. Wrecking sellers is a lot of fun. You guys take it to the next level though, man. Like when somebody sells like 5 ETH, you guys come in with like 50 ETH, and we're just watching the chart just like explode. You know, we're like, what's going on here?
But I mean, it's good. It's bringing a good coin to the spotlight. You know, giving more opportunity for growth, and at the same time, is you guys are working hard. You know, and it's good stuff. And personally, I have to say that I love the fact that it was there was no any pre-salers. I think that was awesome.
Yeah.
And so I'm just enjoying the community. Everybody's been so cool.
Right on, dude. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, like there's like some epic Shinja whales that are just like going wild, and I was trying to be cool like them and keep up for a little bit, but it's just not. It's not feasible. I'm gonna run out of ETH here soon, you know.
Hey, the more ETH you put in, it's like addictive. You know, it's like you put more, and you're like, ooh, when's the next badge?
Yeah, yeah, that's wild. You guys
I just scrambled some, so I'm getting ready, and I know there's some other people getting ready for. So just letting people know, buy if you want to, join the ride.
No doubt.
Also, I think the contest, there's a contest for any 0.3 ETH above and not selling for 48 hours, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Cool. Yeah, I think KCON put together like not only are these whales just coming in and buying, but now they're setting up a community contest and giving all the rewards themselves. I was like, hey, like I can, pitch into some of the content. They're like, no, it's okay, so we're just going with it. It's pretty wild, Alejandro. It's wild stuff. So yeah, guys, if this group, I'll just let you know, if this group says buy now, it's probably because they have like an extra 200-300 ETH that they're just like waiting to create the next leg with. So I would just like go ahead, my opinion. So not financial advice. These guys are wild though. So, okay, cool. And Chris, you are unmuted. Hot Dog 69. I'm gonna unmute you, but I feel like I'm taking a chance here with that pick and that name. But here you go. Go ahead, cool, and Chris, you're unmuted, bud.
Hey guys, I didn't request to speak, but congratulations on your listing. That is huge.
Oh, thanks, bud. Thanks. Yeah, you had your hand up. So I'm not sure what happened, but right.
Oh, maybe I clicked it by accident. I'm sorry. But yeah, congratulations. I'm definitely gonna jump in as soon as it drops a little bit. Yeah, congratulations, man.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know, Alejandro. What do you think about that strat?
I mean, it works. It works.
Okay. Yo, what up, guys? Hey.
Bro, I was scared about Hot Dog 69, I swear.
Dude, yeah, it's just my second Twitter account that I don't have any personal followers on. But so did I mishear earlier? Is there going to be a software version of this wallet?
There is, yeah. The first thing that we'll bring out is a MetaMask fork. Just to give you guys a background, my childhood friend Taylor, she founded my Ether wallet, Mu, which is like the basis of, it's probably the foundation of all modern day ETH wallets. The GitHub has been pulled 3,500 times. A lot of people create wallets off of Mu. Now she's on to my crypto, different wallet. Anyway, we're going to be doing a software wallet and just giving, what's really cool is we're giving an Ethereum Foundation guy and a consultant for a leading blockchain security company, basically an open budget to make the wallet that they would want to use, right? They're usually busy consulting or auditing or whatever it might be, and this time they've taken an interest in our ecosystem and are willing to kind of make it their pet project. And so we're like, you know what, we have no budget, just go ahead and make the best one. Make the one that you would want to use.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Hey, Peori, I have a question.
Sure.
I am a little bit confused regarding, I've heard two things. Either you are in Yasha and the Cliff and Poshi, and the other one is that you're not, but you are. That's throwing me off.
That threw me off.
Well, I said.
Yasha is a DAO. There's a lot of team members involved. I just happen to speak on things most of the time, I think. Regarding Cliff, I just help in the background. Budosh is the dev. I just help with a few things like administrative type things. We basically support Budosh with the things that he wants to do. Then Poshi, I'm helping develop the NFT contracts for Pochi, where we introduce growth and decay into the NFT smart contract, so your puppy will be able to grow. This translates over into real world. If you were able to tokenize an asset, the growth and decay in these smart contracts would represent appreciation and depreciation, right? So that you can have blockchain events tied to depreciating your assets over time, or just the overall market conditions going up, creating blockchain events around that. The Guzzler, Farouk is it's his game. I'm just acting as kind of an interim CEO for Guzzler right now, so that he can focus on building the game. Plus, dealing with people all the time is kind of tough, especially when you're like some genius game developer like Farouk. And then the Neko project, Gooby had asked, he's like, hey, Joey, I want to stealth launch a project. I was super excited because I know how hard of a worker he is. I know how powerful he is, and with his time and effort, and I was excited. And so then we were trying to think, okay, well, what's a good utility? What's a good utility for this project? And we had been thinking about creating there's people within the Yasha ecosystem that get hacked and lose their funds. And so we were thinking about adding this type of utility into Yasha specifically. And the Neko, we just thought it's a mask. Gooby's favorite stickers are cats. We're like, oh, it's a cat mask. This will be good. That's just, I'm in a little bit of everything. D is the COO for everything. So any operations or scheduling, it's usually D and Tea Drinker. And then we have a ton of other people that are involved. MCO is in here. He's building out, he's managing our Unreal 5 team of developers. Farouk manages a team of Unity developers. We have all of our Solidity developers, Budosh deploys everything, super base boo, and then yeah, that answer it? I don't know.
Yeah, I understand that. And then I think another question I have over here is regarding the tax, because I heard 12%, 9%, 15%, and 16%. And every version is different allocations for different stuff. And then on one of those versions, there's also a buying tax. And then I heard also that there is a transferring from wallet to wallet tax. Could you clarify that? I'm sure some people would like that.
Yeah, sure. So for Neko, I think it's 0 to buy and 15 to sell, depending on what the LP is doing at the time. We'll switch around LP. You know, if it's getting thin, we'll allocate a little bit more tax to the liquidity. If it looks like it's thick enough or too thick, then we'll switch it back to marketing and development. And then I think it has a 1% reflection on sales. Then for is it 0? Yeah. For Yasha is the only token that we have a transfer tax on. Reason being is people who try to game the ecosystem, transferring funds from wallet to wallet to try to get multiple pre-sale allocations. This way they're taxed when they try to do that. We just think it's easier if you just keep, it's easier for everybody auditing the wallets for the pre-sales. You just keep all your funds in one place. But that's the only token. The governance token for the DAO is the only token in the ecosystem that has a transfer tax. Other than that, each project has its own tokenomics for different reasons. Like Clifford requires a really high liquidity tax because the liquidity pool is what fuels the buybacks and burns, or the detachment of the Cliff token from the LP. So it requires a higher liquidity tax. Then there's others, like Guzzler doesn't have a very high tax. Pochi doesn't have a super high tax, although like crazy volume came in during launch. We didn't expect to get that much in marketing. And then the one thing that Pochi implemented is a 1% Yasha tax. Yasha does not generate ETH, off its taxes. It's 100% community driven. Nobody gets paid. We don't do really any marketing for Yasha. The only marketing we do is work and results. And then the new funnels that are created from the projects that we launch, they're able to point back. And so generally the projects that we launch, they try in some way to give back to Yasha, whether it's buybacks on the Yasha chart or paying for some marketing. For Pochi, it's a 1% tax back to the Yasha marketing wall. So that kind of explain it?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Right on. Thanks, dude.
Alrighty, guys. I'm gonna go move the shark. See you guys.
Oh my goodness. You guys watch this. Just open your chart, watch these guys work. It's incredible. All right, Zach and Babs, you guys are unmuted. I gotta go watch these guys work too. I should probably buy before they do, right? Cool. Well, I unmuted a couple people. If you guys have any questions, you can go ahead. Otherwise, we've been on here for an hour. Oh, it looks like it's still loading for them. Scott and Ahmed are still on here. Guys, if you don't follow them, do so. Super valuable alpha. coming from some of the people. Yon World's in the house, guys. Follow Yon World. Follow his YouTube channel.
All right. Well, I don't see any more requests, and so I think. Does anybody else have any questions? I don't see any hands.
Bro,
If not, I think it would be a good time to wrap it.
Cool. Well, I think we're buying. Yeah. Alejandro said, "Let's go move the chart." I was for after. So thanks everybody. Yeah. Any questions, guys? Just hop into our TG. We got like 100 different mods and admins that know kind of what's going on in each project. They're very helpful. The community is super helpful. Make sure you guys follow all of our YouTubers and influencers and professional crypto people in here. We got Ahmed and Scott and Yon World. And then, yeah. Hey, thanks everybody. We'll let you know when you guys are able to use the wallet, and hopefully if you have any crypto projects out there, if you want to be an affiliate, that would be super cool. Doesn't cost you anything. We just put all your information on our website and give you a little shout out. No questions asked, I think. We'll look at your contract, make sure it's not shady first. And yeah, just go from there. Thanks everybody. I'm out.
All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you everybody for coming. If you're not in the Telegram already, there's a link for it in the link tree in our bio. So go ahead and join there. But thank you everybody for coming through. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
All right, Yon World. So y'all heard it. Neko. First, was that the first Twitter space? I think that was the first Twitter space they had. First Twitter space I recorded of Neko. Shout out to Peyote. Shout out to the whole development team, Budash. Everybody over there at Neko. I appreciate all the support. Anybody still in the live, man, I appreciate y'all for watching. Right? I see it's 38 people in here, so I appreciate everybody for tapping in with the live, and supporting Yon World. More videos will come out around this project as they develop more. I'm going to continue to talk about this project. It's one of the projects I'm bullish on. So, yeah. It's your boy. I ain't really got too much else to say. I just wanted to make this video about the Twitter space for Neko. I have all of the information about this project in the description. If y'all had any questions, man, make sure you leave a like. Make sure you comment on the video. Reach out to your boy Yon World. You already know. So that's my video for today. I'll tap back in with y'all in a minute. Peace.